Hi everyone. Today we will be reviewing the RTI Strategies Improving Student Achievement Research Project. This project looked at the response to intervention program at a local middle school and analyzed ways to improve student performance and fill achievement gaps more efficiently. Here is an overview of what we will be discussing today. We will review the background information pertaining to RTI, the data analysis made before intervention, the research on RTI and evidence-based practices, the action plan created, including a timeline and evaluation procedures, notes from the implementation process, and the results of the project. Response to Intervention, or RTI, is a tiered program to help struggling or at-risk students with specific skills. The goal of RTI is to bridge learning gaps before the gap becomes too wide and students fall further and further behind grade level. After reviewing the data at the local school, a new research-based math intervention program is needed for RTI students on Tier 3. The program the school is currently using is not showing achievement growth for students, is inconsistent, lacks a data tracking system for progress monitoring, does not align directly with state standards, and is not individualized to meet each student's learning needs. The data to support the claims regarding the current intervention program included a survey given to all special education and math intervention teachers at the local school. The survey asked about strengths to student learning, weaknesses to student learning, tracking student data, and thoughts on the current intervention program. As you can see from Table 1 on the right, the staff felt the most significant weakness was data collection and differentiation, both totaling at 60% combined. They expressed data collection was weak and inconsistent between general education and special education teachers. Additionally, 66% of the survey participants expressed the need for a standards-based and data-driven intervention program to help track progress for RTI students, which is currently not being implemented. In addition to the survey, the school-wide RTI data was analyzed over the last 3 years. The first graph on the left shows the total number of students on Tier 3 school-wide. As you can see, there is an upward trend line which indicates that the number of students has increased over the years, going from 16 in 2017 to 49 in 2019. The second graph on the right breaks down the Tier 3 data even further. The trend line on this graph indicates the percentage of students moving out of Tier 3 at the end of each school year, which is low and decreasing. More students are remaining in the intervention program than moving out. This clearly shows the need for a new intervention program as the current one is not filling achievement gaps. So what exactly is RTI? RTI is a model that is designed to provide extra support for students on the general curriculum. The primary goal of RTI is prevention and remediation of both academic and behavioral difficulties. RTI interventions are typically provided within the general education setting, and interventions increase in intensity as students move up the pyramid. If you look at the pyramid picture on the right, Tier 1 strategies are meant for all students receiving instruction. Tier 2 strategies are implemented for at-risk learners, targeting small group interventions. Tier 3 strategies are more individualized to specific student needs for those that are not progressing with Tier 2 interventions. These tiers are meant to be fluid as student needs change so they can move up and down the pyramid. Two research-based strategies that research supports when implementing intervention programs are differentiation and progress monitoring. Differentiation is used to address the learning needs of all students within the classroom. Conveniently, differentiation is built into the RTI model, since the model emphasizes that one intervention strategy just does not fit all students. Consistency, collaboration, and data collection methods are all needed to ensure that differentiated instruction is implemented to fidelity. Ongoing data collection is essential within the RTI process to implement progress monitoring of skills. The use of progress monitoring allows students to learn more, teachers to make data-based instructional decisions, and student achievement to be documented. Data collection should directly mirror the skills that are being taught to students. Research has continuously shown the success of implementing technology-based interventions. The benefits of technology-based interventions include increased time spent on tasks, immediate feedback provided to students, and increased student motivation. Additionally, differentiation and progress monitoring tools are often directly embedded into the technology programs. One technology program that has been proven successful within the research is IXL. IXL is a technology-based program or website that is directly aligned with state standards and grade-level curriculum. The website includes a comprehensive curriculum with lessons for grades kindergarten through 12th grade. Practice lessons are individually generated based on student ability level and needs after they complete a diagnostic questionnaire. Data is easily tracked so teachers can make instructional decisions quickly and efficiently. The research showed studies that conducted 2 different states where the implementation of IXL improved student achievement within their school's math program. After all of the data and research was analyzed, an action plan was developed. The purpose of the action plan was to analyze student achievement results, including student math grades and overall progress through benchmark assessments, when a new Tier 3 math intervention program was implemented. The expected outcome of the plan included a notable increase in student achievement scores for students in math intervention programs and improvement of math grades for struggling students. The first step of the action plan included an initial professional development session led by the lead supervisor of the study for special education teachers, math intervention teachers, and a special education administrator. The session reviewed IXL intervention programs, how to use it, how to collect data, and the roles and responsibilities of all stakeholders. Step 2 included setting up a free 30-day trial on the IXL website. The math intervention teacher inputted all Tier 3 RTI students, creating each student a profile. Step 3 instructed the math intervention teacher to allow students to complete the diagnostic assessment, which determined their ability level for all math skills on their profile. Through this, individualized lessons were generated. During Step 4, the math intervention teacher allowed class time for students to complete individualized lessons. Step 5 included weekly data collection and review meetings between the lead supervisor and math intervention teacher. This data was saved and further reviewed at the end of the 30-day trial period. The timeline in Table 2 on the right indicates all of these steps on the appropriate days of the trial. It is noted that the timeline only includes 20 days, as weekends and school holidays were factored in. During implementation of the IXL 30-day trial, student data was consistently reviewed and analyzed. Meetings with stakeholders were conducted, and changes in instructional decisions were made. As students began the diagnostic assessment, it was noted that some students finished quickly and some could not finish in the allotted class time. The diagnostic assessment calculates a baseline score for each subtopic of math, as well as the overall grade level score. During this process, it was decided that students should take 10 to 15 diagnostic questions each week to make sure their scores were up to date. During individual student practice, students worked on suggested skills one at a time until they reached 90% accuracy. The program scaffolded directions for problems that were answered incorrectly. Each week during the data review meetings, student scores and student points of growth were recorded on a table. One other topic discussed during implementation was student motivation. The team decided to implement a positive reinforcement plan where the students in each class with the highest growth and the highest number of skills mastered each week would be recorded and rewarded with a prize. The team discussed that students who were functioning on a level closer to grade level did not show as much growth, as they were working on much harder skills. Likewise, if students' diagnostic scores were extremely low, they were instructed to complete additional diagnostic questions to get a more accurate representation of their ability. The live component of the website was used to monitor student progress as they were working on their lessons. The data collection during implementation was then graphed to show the results of the project. This first graph shows the average scores for both 7th and 8th grade students. Over the 30-day trial, there was a clear increase in average scores for 7th grade, as shown by the blue bars, 8th grade as shown by the orange bars, and students overall as shown by the gray line. All students who participated in the trial increased their scores from 419 points at baseline to 451 overall. This calculated to a 32-point overall increase in math scores. In addition to average scores, student growth was also analyzed. The first graph on the left indicates the average weekly growth for 7th and 8th grade, showing a decrease over time. 7th grade went from 16 points of growth to 3 points. 8th grade went from 14 points of growth to 6 points. It was noted that as students continued to work on skills and diagnostic questions, their scores moved higher towards grade level. Therefore, they were working on more difficult skills. This explains the decrease in growth over time, but still supports the success for the intervention program as students are closing learning gaps. The graph on the right demonstrates the overall points of growth for all students throughout the 30-day trial. 7th grade students grew by 30 points, and 8th grade students grew by 33 points. In comparison to the previous math intervention program, IXL improved student achievement scores for students on Tier 3 of RTI. As a whole, 17 out of the 23 students, or 74% of the students who participated, showed an increase in achievement scores just within the trial period. It is recommended that this program continue to be used as the math intervention program.